Oh, no, no, no. Yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gifted and grounded, 7-figure squad. We don't stop, we just thank God. Bright like balls, cool like frost. Peace on lock, no matter the cost. We plan, we lead, we build, we teach. We stretch, we serve, we stack, we reach. Joy in the fruit, not just a flash. We don't just spend, we pass it back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Trim the tree, I trim the debt. No red in the books, just discipline set. Life's my twinkle, but pieces still. I don't chase hype, I chase as well. Cookies out, but division base. Quarter for a con with 7-figure stakes. While they carol, I calculate grace. I get more now, it's part of the race. Mistletoe, now I'm locked on mission. Presents rap, but my focus different. Every gift, they open nights. But what I do, gonna bless for life. Get there, ready and grounded. 7-figure squad. We don't stop. We just thank God. Bright like balls, but cool like frost. Peace on lock, no matter the cost. We plan, we lead, we build, we teach. We stretch, we serve, we stack, we reach. Joy in the fruit, not just a flash. We don't just spend, we pass it back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pints in air, my thoughts stay fresh. Candle light flicker while I write this check. Seed in the soil, not just on the trees. What I plan now, cause the legacy keys. Inbox chill, but I'm still in flow. Cash don't pause just cause it's snow. Joy don't come from things I hold. It's how I give and what I grow. Talk stocks, I talk about structure. Talk sales, I talk about culture. Talk wealth, I talk about time. Cause what I sow now, my kids will find wealth. Give it, rivet and grounded. 7-figure squad. We don't stop. We just thank God. Bright like balls, but cool like frost. Peace on lock, no matter the cost. We plan, we
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Christmas has already passed by. And I'm wearing today some of my favorite gifts from the Christmas holidays. I got my new Meta Oakley, what do you call these, AI glasses. I got a vest here. Thank you, Tiffany, for this vest because I'm smoking cigars outside. And this is a heated vest here. I can push this button and it heats up the vest. But nonetheless, let me set the stage for today. Christmas has passed us. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Wrapping paper's gone. The decorations are about to come down. I know on January. By the way, when do you guys take down Christmas decorations? For us, it's January 1st. About to come down. Now, the credit card statements are about to hit. And this week, right here between Christmas and New Year, is when reality starts showing up. Hello, welcome back. Because this is the moment when financial stress gets a little bit more honest, regrets of what you bought really get loud, and people quietly ask themselves, did I do this right? Was this really a Merry Christmas or Merry Credit Card Christmas? Because now we're starting a brand new year, which means this isn't just reflection season, this is decision season. And so today, I'm going to be reacting to a few humorous viral reels that you probably laughed at, probably shared, or maybe even kind of expose you a little bit. It's okay. Sometimes there's a lot of truth in comedy. Funny moments, relatable moments, emotional moments, but hear me clearly. These clips aren't just for entertainment. My opinion, they're signals. Because they reveal, comedy always has some form of truth because they reveal how families think about money, how couples communicate under financial pressure, why high income earners still feel stuck. I'm talking about financially stuck. Yes, high earners. And how retirement plans collapse when real life shows up, reality. And here's how today's episode will play out. I'll introduce every reel, play it, and I'll break down what's really happening underneath it and how I perceive it, how we respond to it. And after each one, I'll tell you exactly who it's for and what your next move should be. Because this year doesn't change by accident. It changes when somebody decides, I'm not carrying these habits into another year. I'm dropping it off in 2025. I'm not carrying it into 2026. Ready to get started? I'm ready to get started. Let's check out these videos here. Starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey, 7-figure squad. When we go, run it up.
Now, this first clip is funny. I like this one. But listen closely. Come here. Pay attention. Pay attention. Let's go.
Probably will be for life. And probably will be for life. And
So he doesn't know what the kids are getting for Christmas. And I don't know when the mortgage is due. Same team, different players. Hey, listen, this is funny. Until it's not. Same house, same family, same income, but two completely different relationships with money. And I would also say probably expectations. He doesn't know what the kids are getting for Christmas. She doesn't know when the mortgage is due. Ha, ha, ha. That's sometimes not a joke. And that's a money blueprint problem. And money doesn't just live and hang out in bank accounts. It lives in roles in the house, habits, assumptions, expectations of the home of each other, what we avoid, what we really silently carry, some of those things that we just expect each others to do. And what you're watching, in my opinion, although it's funny, I totally get it because we all can relate. What you're really watching isn't dysfunction. It's a default setting, a default set of thinking. And that default thinking always feels fine until pressure shows up. And right now, a growing number of households earning $250,000 to $300,000 a year are now starting to live paycheck to paycheck. Let me repeat that one more time. Households earning $250,000 to $300,000 a year are now reported to be living paycheck to paycheck. Not because they don't earn enough, because income scales, right, faster than a lot of our clarity. And sometimes, you get involved in business, you're getting on careers, boom, 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 income. Then there's some expectation. However, that default setting set of person like that should be driving or wearing or going to eat. And so when income scales faster than your clarity, folks like this don't fail. They defaulted. So if this feels eerily and oddly familiar with you and you want alignment instead of avoidance, I want you to comment in the comment section, movement. If you're watching the live chat, movement. Why? Because we want to establish a new awareness in 2026 that we should be communicating a lot more. My word for 2026 is a word called command. Because I want us to command our relationships, to command our decisions, to command our money, to command our stewardship, to command our intentions, to be on top of it in 2026. And if that's you want to get more on top of what you got going on, so therefore you can get out of life what you want in 2026. Because if you're looking at your life right now in 2025, are you financially happy? Are you really? Well, some of you are, and some of you are not. If you're not happy, the question you got to ask yourself is, what am I going to change for 2026? What am I dropping off in 2025, never revisiting ever again in my entire life, at least from an economic, financial standpoint? And what am I bringing into 2026? Or what do I have to learn new in 2026? The second part is, what's your formula? What's your pattern? What's your mathematical, exact numbers, logical perspective, and how to get to where you are today to where you want to go? And the third thing you got to ask yourself is, who's helping you? Who's in your corner? Who's holding you accountable? If you don't have those three things coming into 2026, my friends, you're going to be financially more and more numb in the year ahead. Because that is about clarity. As soon as you're clear about something, boom, now you can find out how to get there and how fast you want to get there. All right, let's go to the next one. This next video here is about a father. This one's a little emotional. It's a father watching his kids open presents. Let's play this. Hilarious. By the way, listen, I make a lot of money and I still got tank tops in my drawer there that got holes in them. I just don't give it up. But anyway, nonetheless, this is beautiful. At the same time, it's also heartbreaking. That man loves his kids. That man loves his family. That man is protecting and providing for the people he loves and care about. That man has showed up. But inside, that man feels pressure. Inside, that man feels stress. Inside, that man possibly has maxed out his credit cards or allowed his wife to max out credit cards. And that man and his wife in January will feel anxiety. I'm not assuming that's this man, but it's just a general scenario across the board. And some people say, I'm good. Okay, I get it. It's the reason why we're $1 trillion in credit card debt. Because keep saying, I get it, I got it. No, you don't got it. We don't got it. America, we don't got it. If that's the case, America should be much further ahead. If that's the case, America today should be worried about finding a job. If that's the case, America today should be complaining because it can't buy a home. If that's the case, America today should be complaining because it can't buy groceries. No, we don't got it. And culture claps for scenarios like this as if it's noble. As if the reason for the season was about retailers instead about Jesus being the reason for the season. And please allow me to say this with love. Moments like this that you just watched, this is sacrifice without a strategy. And kids don't need broke heroes. They need prepared leaders like mom and dad. Because after the presents, watch what happens after the presents. Next 2, 3, 4 days, toys are all over the place and scattered, not put away. And you're as parents, you're the mom, you're the dad, you're yelling at your kids, screaming at them because the parents are caring more about those presents because they bought it with their hard-earned money. And they lovingly wrapped it, put it in the present, put it underneath the tree because they put the sweat equity to buy the gift. The kids, they don't give a shit about those toys. Because when January comes, those credit card statements come in, interest will compound, your stress will rise, your health will decline. That's probably why you talked about one kidney left. And your peace erodes. Proverbs 21, verse 20 says this, the wise store up choice food and olive oils. But fools, they gulp theirs down. If there's a gift you want to give your kids, it's your presence. Your presence, you being amongst them, that matters. How come we can't get back to that? By the way, in our family, we've been so far behind it. Of course we give gifts, but we've made it a reality in our family. It's beyond the gifts of what you got and comparing with your friends what you got. You know, you don't hear my kids, what'd you get for Christmas? What'd you get for Christmas? It's not a comparison conversation. They enjoy our company, things we're sharing with them. The fact that my son right now, he's 10 books deep into a set of books I have him reading about the economy, about taking personal ownership and reading about entrepreneurship and studying football, understanding 3-4 and 4-3 defenses because he wants to play running back. It wasn't about the gifts he got. Of course he got a gang of gifts, but it wasn't about that. Your presence matters. You being there for your kids, that presence matters. But prepared presence changes bloodlines. And please hear this. It only takes one person in a family to make a decision that changes that bloodline forever. So next year, I encourage you, go redefine Christmas. And hopefully it's based on the reason for the season, which was Jesus. But if not, redefine it at least from a financial standpoint. Not as a season to bail out retailers, not as a month of comparison, but as a moment to teach stewardship, to teach margin, and most importantly, to teach gratitude. If you're done surviving holidays and ready to lead your household with margin, drop in the comment section keys, and I'll send you my framework for my book, Keep the Keys. Or at the very least, you're tired of your debt. Once you reach out and put debt in the conversation below or send me a DM, we'll send you a QR code for Mediator Law Group. And Mediator Law Group can show you how to get out of debt using a debt settlement strategy. Again, Mediator Law Group, my friend Armin Tatyans runs that company, Mediator Law Group, and it'll show you exactly how to get out of debt. The QR code's on the screen. If you find yourself in a situation, got his credit card debts, unsecured debts, medical debts, you want to wipe it off, you don't have a strategy, and every dollar you send to pay off this credit card, every debt you send, pay this, and it's barely knocking off any principal, reach out. Here's your QR code, fill the information in. It'll help you understand what your options are in terms of understanding how to eventually get out of debt. So therefore, instead of your mind being half on your kids and half on your financial situation, get rid of that. You have 1 year to do it. So therefore, 100% of your attention and your presence is amongst your family, people that you love and care about, not worrying in the back of your head like this guy's worried in the back of your head what that debt's going to look like, especially if you have to give up one kidney. That being said, this next clip, speaking of that, this next clip says that 3.227, how do I say this properly? $3,227,500 is the perfect retirement number. Again, 3.2275. Maybe I need to go back to school. Read this again. $3,227,500 is the perfect retirement number. Is it really? Let's watch this carefully.
By $3,227,500 is the perfect number to retire early on, especially for couples. So not many people know this, but as a couple, you can withdraw $98,900 per year from your investments and pay 0% capital gains taxes on it. Now, these investments must be held for more than 1 year. These are long-term capital gains. But wait, it gets even better. Stay with me. So a couple can also get a standard deduction of $32,200 and pay 0% taxes on it. So when you're at $98,900 plus $32,200, you get $131,100 that you can withdraw from your portfolio every single year and pay 0% taxes on it. So then we take this number, account for the 4% rule, 131.1 divided by 4%, you get $3,227,500. So why is this the perfect retirement number? Well, once you hit this magical number, you can withdraw $131,100 per year, pay 0% in taxes, and you'll never run out of money. Imagine just chilling, living off of $11,000 per month and not having to pay any capital gains taxes on it. That's crazy. And that is why $3,227,500 is the perfect retirement number. If you like this stuff, I'm building a school community all about how to retire early. All you have to do is comment the word school and you can join the waitlist. Here's why $3 million.
Respect to this guy. Throwing some knowledge out there, putting some data, putting some education behind it. Listen, I support any financial educator out there that puts some data and information and makes numbers somewhat relatable. But think about this. How do you guys feel, first and foremost, about $3.2 million in retirement savings? Imagine that's your goal right now, to save $3.2 million. By the way, I do this in my workshop 2-3 times a week. I ask that same very question. How many guys are comfortable knowing that you have to probably save anywhere between $2, $3, and $4 million in retirement starting today based on today's numbers? Not anybody raised their hand that fired up and excited about it. So to an extent, this potentially might be the $3.2 million lie. Why? Let me introduce you to a concept I wrote in my second book called Gotcha, the Gotchas of Money. Gotcha number 1 is losses. Gotcha number 2 is healthcare. Gotcha number 3 is taxation. Gotcha number 4 is inflation. And gotcha number 5 is procrastination. So let me just pause it right there. I've been in the life insurance, annuity, and retirement planning business for 26 years. I've seen hundreds of thousands of case studies. Just in the last 4 years alone, we've helped over 122,000 clients just with life insurance and annuities. And just recently, I had a client pass away. In the last 18 months of their life, they spent over $240,000 on home health care aid alone. Not hospitals, not assisted living, not food, just care. Just for somebody to be there with this person round the clock for the last 18 months. And thank God there were the finances that were there that was ready to deploy for this plan. Because without a game plan, the only option for this client to have would have been Medicaid plan, meaning spending everything down so just a few $1,000s for a married couple. And Medicaid planning is reactive planning. Now, let's talk about what this $3.2 million math really ignores. Gotcha number 1, again, is losses. In 2022, just a few years ago, the S&P 500 dropped 22%. Now think about this. If your portfolio drops, let's say you got $1 million, or in this case, $3.2 million, and it drops negative 22%, you don't need a 22% return just to recover, get you back to square one. No, you need 28%, 28.2% to be exact, to get you back to zero. So ask yourself, where is that return coming from? With what risk? Like the next 12 months, if I need to get a 28.2% rate of return just to get me back to square one, what additional risk am I asking my retirement account to go through and hopefully get back that 28.2% in the next 12 months without me having a crystal ball? Over what timeline are you expecting that to come? Meanwhile, think about this. You're retired. You still need to eat. The market's dropping. You still have bills. The market's dropping. You still have healthcare. Market's dropping. See, this is sequence of returns risk. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3 says this, that the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Let me introduce you to gotcha number 2 and 3, which is healthcare and taxation. Now, in order to pay for this case that I was just sharing earlier of an actual client, to pay for the $240,000 of care, this family had to accelerate money out of IRAs and 401ks, which triggered what? Higher taxable income, shooting into a higher income tax bracket. It triggered Medicare, IRMA surcharges and charges, less control, and fast, less control. And money's dwindling down quickly. And healthcare didn't just cost money. Healthcare also triggered and forced taxation to the IRS. And since they're living in a state where it's state income tax in that state. Proverbs 21 verse 5 says, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. This is why retirement plans fail in real life. Instead of retiring, people unretire. So if you want a plan that survives losses, healthcare, taxation, inflation, it's great to write it off a spreadsheet. But at the same time, too, as well, he ran the 4% rule, which is a good rule. But what happens that year, again, back to my gotcha number 1, what happens that year, the market drops negative 10, 20, 30%, and you're still trying to pull out 4% from your retirement account. You're eating too much from the farm, buddy. And so life isn't about just the logical TikTok reel and logical social media content you just saw in 60 seconds. You need a strategy that you need to constantly educate yourself and elevate your awareness of on a consistent basis. And I want to give you some basic framework for free from my recent best-selling book, Keep the Keys. I've been on a 14, 15 city tour. And in January 15th and next year, I'll be in Orlando, Florida. And by the end of also, I believe in February, also I'll be in Phoenix, Arizona. So I got a bunch more stops here. This Friday, I'll be in New Orleans with my friends with the Keep the Keys book tour. So I'm very excited. Go to this QR code, get the free framework of Keep the Keys. And it's going to give you an acronym called CLARITY. Control, liquidity, access cost, rate of return, insurance benefit, tax advantages, and yield savings. You're going to find the clarity. If anybody's telling you over this holiday weekend, you got to put your money here, you got to put your money here, run it through the clarity spreadsheet. Run it through the clarity filter. So therefore, you're more logical about your decision, not emotional. Remember, I said before, when logic is high, emotion is low. But if you don't have logic and logic is low and education is low, emotion is high, and you just go with the flow. That's not a strategy. So I encourage you guys and gals out there watching this, even if, this isn't just for people who want to retire at 65, 70 years old. This is something if you're in your 20s and 30s. If you want to retire by the time you're 30 and 40, this is something you got to pay attention to, because even more so, putting your money inside Roth IRAs and typical qualified retirement plans like 401ks, like IRAs, you're going to run into the pre-59.5 withdrawal rule, which is the penalty of 10%. So if you retire after 59.5 years old, based on these traditional strategies, that's when you won't have to pay that pre-59.5-year-old 10% penalty. So a lot more strategy has to be included in what you want to do to retire sooner than later outside your traditional IRAs, 401ks, Roth IRAs, backdoor Roth IRAs, because they still all fall under the qualified plan rules of 401A. And under that is 401 Chapter K. These are all qualified plans. And qualified with who? Qualified with the United States government. That being said, there's another video here talking about opportunity. Final reel here I'm reacting to. And this one is an emotional. This is one more directional. I'm excited for this one because this is affecting me right here in Dallas, Texas. And so, hey, let's roll with this. Let's roll with this video. Let's check this out.
Street is officially moving to Texas. We've been hearing the rumors, but now it's real. The Texas Stock Exchange is gearing up to launch right here in downtown Dallas in 2026. And this isn't just a gimmick. It is backed by giants like BlackRock and Citadel. The goal? To rival the New York Stock Exchange and give companies a place to go public in a state that actually wants their business. This is what we call Wall Street South. It brings investment bankers, high-frequency traders, and massive institutional capital directly into the Dallas economy. If you thought property values were high now, wait until the financial capital of the U.S. starts shifting its center of gravity to Texas. Comment your thoughts and go ahead and comment the word report to get access to a free weekly newsletter.
A lot of realtors are reporting this, and this is one of very many of them. And I encourage you guys to follow this gentleman, Living the Texas Life. Good job, buddy. A lot of realtors will be sharing a lot of this type of information because the marketplace here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is rapidly changing. Matter of fact, I think they're calling it DFFW, which stands for Dallas-Frisco-Fort Worth, because they believe that many people tell you, the rumors have it, that Frisco may be even considered the second downtown of Dallas. Furthermore, here in McKinney, Texas, which is the next town next to Frisco, there's Frisco, Plano, and then there's McKinney. My parents live in right next door. And there's a new airport that's coming up. So Dallas is about to have its third airport. So you got DFW, you got Dallas Love. We're about to have a third airport. I think Evino or Velo Airlines just contracted with McKinney, the McKinney Airport here, to be the first airline to be flying consistently out of that airport. I might have a new airport, buddy. So I'm glad, because that's only 10 minutes away from me, 15 minutes away from me, versus going through downtown and going to the past Garland and Coppell in that area of Dallas. But nonetheless, we've been here for 4 years. And I can't tell you how rapidly Dallas is changing, how rapidly more people are coming here. And we were talking about this many, many moons ago. And think about this real quick. Think about where you want to be living for the rest of your life, where you want to really anchor down and really make your money. And I'm so glad and blessed and fortunate that God has led me to Dallas, because, listen, I was born and raised in Chicago. Love Chicago. Everything about Chicago I love outside the winter. But nonetheless, I love me some Chicago. But sadly, during the pandemic, I just saw very quickly how quickly the unraveling of Chicago became, from a political standpoint, just from a traffic standpoint. Traffic was just robbing me of time. And so what this guy here just said, Margie and Ludwin Flores, what they just said here, this isn't hype. This is history in the making. Because back in November, just last month, at my last Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey event, we launched a new 2-part series called Dallas, the New Financial Frontier. And I told that room that this shift was coming. And now you see it. It's official. Now you see it. Institutional capital is planting a flag in Texas. And when capital moves, everything flows. That's why part 2 of my series is going down February 12th, right here in Frisco, Texas, February 12th, 2026, Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey. The QR code is on the screen right now. Buy your tickets. Early bird tickets are on the website now. November was the warning shot. February is a blueprint. And speaking of the Texas Wall Street, I have the global strategy expert, global strategy operations guy named Jeff Karcher. And I'll be interviewing him directly from the Texas Stock Exchange. I'll be interviewing him right on our stage during the Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey event. And we're going to pick his brain. I'm going to pick his brain about what he expects and what this is really going to do, what the opportunities are, and the relationships you need to establish here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to be the next kings and queens of DFFW. And when you're looking at who's establishing, you talk about Citadel and BlackRock. Well, Citadel was based in Chicago. Citadel was ran by a guy named Ken Griffin, the richest man in Chicago. 1,500 employees. And this is what happens when there's bad policies and bad leadership at the top. You would think that the richest man in Chicago would have first speed dial access to the mayor. You think the mayor talked to Ken Griffin before he decided to take his 1,500 employees and leave to Miami, leaving Chicago, leaving 1,500 jobs away and bringing them to Miami? Taking those assets under management from Chicago to Miami to South Florida? You think their conversation had your number one guy? There's no conversation. And why did the 1,500 employees and Ken Griffin Citadel move? Why did the company move? Because they didn't feel safe. They didn't feel it was a trustworthy city, so they left. And think about this ripple effect. Not only did he leave, not only Ken Griffin leave to Florida, but guess what he eventually established last year? He put together, I think it was $35 billion alongside BlackRock, And then now, since 1983, the last time a national stock exchange of this magnitude has ever been created was 1983 by the Chicago Board of Exchange. Now here, 2025, a brand new stock exchange for the first time since 1983 has been now officially formed and ready to do business in the spring of 2026, somewhere around there. We're going to get first access to hear from somebody from the Texas Stock Exchange at our event, February 12th. You better be there. So as I wrap up, let me land this what I always do. None of these clips were random. These, in my opinion, they were all mirrors. These are all warnings. In fact, these were invitations. And what you saw today wasn't about bad people or bad intentions. It was about default thinking. And defaults don't feel wrong until they cost you. And if you stay with me this long and you haven't done so yet, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, Seven Figure Squad. And please drop your biggest takeaway in the comments section below. I would genuinely love to know what's on your mind as we build this Millionaire Live episode every Tuesday, 2 p.m. In addition to that, if you want to get more access to, again, our QR code to get the keys, Keep the Keys framework, or you want to get access to where I'll be next for the Keep the Keys book tour, go to Keys. The QR code's on the screen. If you want more clarity, if you're looking for a new alignment, a new industry to be a part of, you're looking for people to surround yourself with, you're looking for a new formula to integrate, drop movement, if you want to build a new career, a new business alongside us, might be a candidate for what we do based on where you live, where you're at, and what you're about. That being said, guys, this is the last Millionaire Responds of 2025. It's a pleasure having you guys here on my YouTube channel, following us after all these years. I'm excited to be with you guys for 2026 and beyond. A lot more ins and tail. We're restarting our channel next year. We got an episode. Our theme for our YouTube channel next year is one word. It's called Control. I'll explain about it on our Sunday episode. Make sure you check out the Sunday's episode here in the Seven Figure Squad channel. What do I mean by control? I appreciate you guys. Again, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit like. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comment section below. That's being said, from Dallas, Texas, I'm your money smart guy. And until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today. God bless you guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Happy New Year.